good enough, because you're going to fail 100 times before you find the actual solution. So instead of saying, I'm going to try, make the commitment that you're going to be resilient until you find the solution.
What is going on? We do transformations. My name is Brian Mark, and I'm the #1 rated business coach for online fitness coaches. Now, if you came to the We Do Transformation live event, then you got to watch me speak in front of 3,000 people about how to grow your social media accounts. But the truth is, there's so much more than that. The world is changing fast, and in 2023, you cannot do business the same way that you did it 10 years ago. Because everyone and their mom is on their cell phones. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, they're on LinkedIn. And if you're not meeting these people on these platforms in a way that's optimized, then you're missing out on potential business. So Jorge, Octavio, and Edgar made a decision. If the world is gonna change, then we're gonna change with it. You guys, I'm so excited because We Do Transformations just hired me to teach you how to use social media to grow your business. I'm gonna be doing private mentoring for We Do Transformations, and here's why you should be excited. Number 1, I'm building out a custom course specifically for We Do Transformations to teach you how to utilize your social media profile to grow your Herbalife distributors. Number 2, I'm going to give you content templates, DM scripts, sales scripts. 3, you have me as your mentor for the next 6 months at We Do Transformations. Once a month, I'm going to be hosting a Q&A where you can come ask me anything so you can get unstuck, grow on social media, and blow up your business. This is the time to get excited. This is the time to be fired up about your business. This is the time to fall back in love with what you do, because I promise you, those of you who follow the We Do Transformation lead that Jorge, Edgar, and Octavio have laid out and implement the stuff that I'm going to teach you over the course of the next 6 months are going to blow up your business. I'm talking about doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling your revenue. So get ready, get excited. Starting in November, We Do Transformations is about to transform the way that Herbalife does business. What is
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'll mute here, make sure. Can you guys hear me? Can you put it in the chat? Let's see. Okay, gallery view. Okay, you guys can see me? Can hear me? Everything good? Okay, guys, before we start, first thing first, for anyone that needs translation, stay here. Stay in the Zoom, on the Zoom. Anyone that doesn't need translation, please go to YouTube, and that's what that's what we do in the call. So for the people that don't need translation, go watch the call in YouTube. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Let me put it in the chat so you guys can go get the link. It's working. Make sure it's there. Carlos, ¿lo puedes poner? No, no me deja ponerlo. ¿Puedes ponerlo en el chat? El link.
Ya lo hago.
Okay. Okay, guys. So make sure you go to YouTube. If you don't need translation, please. We have a cap of 1,000 people. So if you don't need translation, go to YouTube and you'll be able to watch the call, no problem. Okay. And I'll wait like 2 minutes for everyone to go there. Okay, so. Yes, YouTube is going to be in English, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's wait 1 more minute, and then we'll get to introduce George. Sure. Okay, everyone that is here, do you need translation or no? Okay, so if you guys don't need translation, please go to YouTube. We're already maxed out here. Okay, for you guys that are coming in, if you don't need translation, please click on the link and go to YouTube so you can watch the call on YouTube, okay? There's still people coming in. I don't know if you want. Okay, we're gonna give a few more minutes. There's still people coming in.
2 more minutes.
For 2 more minutes, 9 or 10. For the people that are coming in,
9 or 10.
9, 10. And for the people that are coming in, if you don't need translation, please go to YouTube, the link that we have in the chat, so you can listen to the call, watch the call in YouTube. If you don't need translation, please. Let's leave the Zoom for the people that actually need translation. Okay, 1 more minute, guys. Also, guys, for whoever is in here that is not a supervisor, this is a supervisor and up call. So please, if you're not supervisor, log off.
Otherwise, you might.
Okay, so I think we're good. For those that just came in, if you don't need translation, please go to YouTube so you can watch the call there, okay? So let's go ahead and start the call. I don't want to take too much time. We have a lot of stuff to go over. We're also going to have some Q&A. I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions. This is really important. So if you guys have pen, paper, please, you're going to need to write some things down. It'll definitely help. So without further ado, and I don't want to take any more time, tonight's goal is not me. I'm not doing the call, as you guys know. Tonight's goal is going to be made by George. And you guys, please pay attention. This is a really important. What we're going to go over today is going to be really important. We need to make sure everyone is in the same page. So please pay attention. Okay. So now time to introduce the person who's going to be doing the call tonight. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to introduce Jorge de la Concepcion, Sherman Club, 220 cakes.
All right. You always got to do a proper introduction. Okay. Cool. We got a boat ton of people on here connected. This is great. Look, Octavio said it, but I'll say it again. This call is for supervisors and up for a reason. So if you're not a supervisor, and if you're brand new, you don't know what a supervisor is, no problem. Supervisor, if you're at 50%, you're a supervisor. If you're not a supervisor. We ask that if you're not a supervisor that you disconnect. We have no way of tracking, so we're doing it, based on the honesty system.
But they're honest.
So we're assuming that you're honest, and that all of you that are on here. Let me figure out this thing. There we go. Yeah. And that all of you that are on here are supervisors and up. And the reason for this is, we're going to go through some key information that's not necessarily. It's relevant to the new person, but I'd rather you guys communicate it to your teams. I want to communicate with higher level people, just so that we're all on the same page. There's been a lot of people that have been joining. There's a lot of people that joined the last month that probably for the first time ever, which is pretty awesome. So for all of you that joined, congratulations. This movement is kind of taking over. We've been having calls with leaders from around the world recently that want to bring this to their countries, and so it's expanding very quickly. So it's great, but obviously with expansion and more people joining and more people learning about it and more people being new to it, there's some challenges that come with that. And I don't know about you, but so far this tool has been an amazing asset for us in the business. A lot of the people that are utilizing it are leveling up their businesses. They're getting more customers, they're getting more distributors, they're getting more supervisors, they're getting more confidence. They're getting better results themselves. There's a lot of amazing things that come with it, a lot of positive things that are just a natural part of this. And so we need to protect this movement by all means. And we need to make sure that people are doing the right thing, so that we can continue to move forward with this brand, with this movement, and not run into any issues. And so a big part of the call is to talk about that. Now, before I get into that, I know you see my face already, 2 calls in a row. I don't usually like to be on the spot so much. But I felt like it was necessary to get on this call today. But if you were on the last call, we went over a lot of different things that were very interesting. And it seemed like a lot of people were fired up after that last call. Who was fired up after the last call that we had 2 Tuesdays ago? Put a fire in the chat or something. I want to see who was connected to that last call. Who was a part of it? Who was there? Yeah, okay, 5, whatever. Okay, good. So there was a lot of people connected. I think in total we had over 3,000 people connected to that call. There was 1,000 on Zoom, and there was 2,000 virtually. Through YouTube. And I shared a lot of things. I talked about a 90-day plan, which would start immediately 2 weeks ago, and it would go all the way basically into Christmas. Talked about a lot of things, and a lot of you probably wrote down things that you needed to work on. You wrote down some mindset shifts that you needed to make. You wrote down some income producing activities that you were going to start doing. You wrote down some activities that you were going to do with your teams. And if I had to guess, I would say that a good number of you probably already quit on all those things that you wrote down. A lot of you probably did it for a few days and you stopped. You know who you are, whoever you are. A lot of you are probably still going at it. You're still doing it every day. You're still going hard. You're still staying consistent. And so I applaud you, all of you that are staying consistent and that are staying true to your word and to what you said you were going to do. But I know a lot of you haven't. And if you're one of those that haven't, listen, it's not the end, that haven't stuck to it. It's not the end of the world, but just know that in order to have different results, you need to start taking different kinds of actions and you need to start behaving differently. And by continuing to adapt the same quitter kind of mindset that you've had for years, maybe, or for months, or for whatever it is, whether it's inside Herbalife or not inside Herbalife, maybe in your regular life, listen, you're not going to get very far. So if you're one of those that 2 weeks ago, you got really fired up on the call that I did and you started doing things and you said you were going to take over the world and you were going to do all these things and you were going to take all these actions and you've already stopped 2 weeks into it, there's your issue right there. And I know that, sometimes you start something and you don't see results right away. Actually, most of the times you don't see results right away. And maybe that could be frustrating. Maybe that could be upsetting that you start something and you said you're going to do something and you start doing it and then nothing happens. But see, the winners, they stick to it even if nothing happens right away. Because eventually, if you stick to it long enough, things will happen. But most people quit before they give things the opportunity to kind of unfold and for things to happen. And so if you're one of those that 2 weeks ago, you decided you were going to do something with your business, with your life over the next 90 days, and you already quit, I suggest you rethink that and you really get clear on what you really want in this business and you get clear on what you want in life. Because that kind of attitude, that kind of mindset is not going to get you anywhere. And I know there's some of you on this call. I don't know how many, but I know there's some of you. There's always some. For those of you that are grinding and are doing it, stay the course. Things will happen. If you stay the course, things will happen. And 90 days from now, things are going to be different than they were 2 weeks ago when you started. So this is just a quick public service announcement to stay consistent with whatever you wrote down. Stay true to yourself. Ultimately, this is for you. So don't let yourself down. Don't disappoint yourself. Respect what you wrote down. Respect your goals and respect yourself. Because if you're quitting, initially you're quitting on yourself, but ultimately you're quitting on a lot of people. You're quitting on your family. You're quitting on all these people that you said you wanted to help. You're quitting on them too. But first, do it for yourself. Don't quit on yourself. Just a quick, easy, simple announcement on that because I figured some of you probably need it. And listen, maybe in the last 2 weeks, a lot of you got hit by life. But life hits everybody. Life happens to everybody. We all, shit happens to all of us. But the winners, they do it even when things are not easy and when things are happening. The losers use any little thing as an excuse to quit and to not move forward. The winners, they persevere even when shit's happening because, listen, it happens to all of us. So get clear on your goals, get clear on the reason why you're doing this, and get back to your plan if you got away from it. So that's a quick little announcement there. Listen, what is We Do Transformations and where do we want to take this? What are we going to do with this? What culture do we want to build? So I'm going to share with you some things that I envision this culture to be ultimately. I spent a day recently with some of you follow him. Maybe some of you don't need to know who he is, but if you don't, he's an interesting guy to listen to and to watch. Andy Elliott he kind of blew up recently on social media, all over the place now. He's a speaker, he's a sales guy, but he's a fitness guy also. And I spent the day with him, and I got to see him work, and I got to see him operate, and I was pretty blown away. But I was mostly blown away, not just by him, but by the culture that he's built into his entire team. And in more ways than one, you guys are part of my team now, because we're all working together. We're all working with the same tool. We're all, doing this as a team together. And so we're all part of the same team. And so I can only hope to build a culture like the one that he's built within his organization. Now, easier said than done, right? He's got a lot less people than we do in his organization, and they're all very close. They're not in different countries, not in different states. They're all in his office. So doing that virtually or through the distance is more difficult, but I think it can be done. And here are some things that I noticed from his culture that I think is the same. It kind of applies to the culture that we want to build within We Do Transformations and this movement that we created. Number one, the first thing that I saw was that everybody there was a team player. So here we want to build a culture of team players. We do everything for the greater good of the team, not for our own interests. Now, we got to take care of our business, and we got to take care of ourselves. We got to do all that. That's fine. But we first do things for the greater good of the entire movement, of the entire team, of the entire organization, for the greater good of Herbalife. So that's the first thing I noticed. Everybody there was a team player, and everybody there was going in the same direction and working towards the same thing for the greater good of the team and the organization. I've had to work with people in the past that were not team players, and we didn't last very long working together. Actually, I think we lasted too long working together. And so in this new movement that we've created, in this new phase of the business, one of the main things that I decided to do was that I would only work with people who were team players and who were going to do things based on the greater good of the team. And anybody who wasn't on board with that idea, anybody who was selfish, out the door. No questions asked, no explanation, nothing. Easy, out. We want to work with team players. That is the main reason this has grown as fast as it's grown, and it's been as successful as it has been, is that the fact that the core group that we have working together, everybody there is a team player. And everybody there does everything based on the greater good of the team and not their own personal benefit. So that's the first thing. And that's what we want. And it doesn't matter if you're part of the core group that organizes everything. It doesn't matter if you're a supervisor or if you're a president's team. Eventually, if you're a supervisor, eventually we hope that you get to president's team. We hope that eventually you have some kind of involvement in the overall decision-making or whatever it is. If you don't start to adopt that mindset from now, it's going to be very hard to adopt it when you get to president's team, when you get to get team, or when you get to millionaire team. So I suggest you start getting into that mindset now, that everything we do is for the greater good of the team. And if we look out for the greater good of the team, man, our own personal benefits are going to be much larger than they would have otherwise. So that was the first thing that I noticed from his team that inspired me. Another thing that I noticed, but more than the fact that I noticed in their team, it's something that I really want to kind of build into the DNA of what we're doing here, is that we take responsibility. When we make a mistake, we take responsibility. And even not necessarily even just making a mistake, but we take responsibility for our shit. Like, we're not blaming others. We're not, we're just taking responsibility for everything. If our business is not growing, it's our fault. It's nobody else's fault. If we don't have the amount of customers that we want, it's your fault. You got to take responsibility. listen, you got to take responsibility even when things don't necessarily feel like they're your fault. I've been flying I've been out of town for the last like 2 weeks, like nonstop. I just finally got home yesterday after a long time. In the last 2 months, I've maybe been home for 10 days. Yesterday I'm flying back from New York, and American Airlines, I can't stand American Airlines. I was supposed to be flying back first class. They canceled my first class ticket just because they wanted to, and they sold my first class ticket. And so when I get to the counter, they couldn't find my ticket because I took a different flight going there, but I was still going to take my return flight back. They said, well, that's not their policy. Their policy is if you don't take the same flight, whatever, some bullshit policy that they have that they don't tell anybody about. And so they canceled my first class ticket and they sold it. Who knows how much they sold it for? They probably made a killing on it. And then when I came back, my wife was still in first class, but since I flew from somewhere else, they're like, no, now you got to buy a ticket, a new ticket. And there's no first class available. There's only economy. I know, bougie on my end, but whatever. You get used to, flying first class. Eventually, you kind of, it sucks when you don't. And then so I said, fine, I'll fly economy or whatever. But then I had to kind of fight with them to give me a refund, and I was so upset about the whole thing, just because I felt like they were screwing me. Like, listen, I bought a ticket. You canceled my ticket. You sold my ticket. Like, who are you to just cancel and sell my ticket? And I was really upset. I was very heated. And then I said, I kind of like took a second and I told Disney, I'm like, it's my fault. Although it was not really my fault. I said, it's my fault. I shouldn't be flying commercial. It's my fault for having to go through American Airlines. So, I'm going to be taking responsibility for that, and I'm going to work harder so that eventually I don't have to fly commercial and I don't have to ever use American Airlines, and they can go screw themselves. So I said, look, it's my fault. I shouldn't be doing this. And so even when it seems like it's not your fault, deep down, there's something somewhere that you could have done to avoid it. So everything is your responsibility. Everything is your fault, period. A team member leaves, it's your fault. Somebody quits on you, it's your fault. You didn't get a customer, it's your fault. Everything is your fault. Even when it feels or it seems like it's not, you got to take responsibility, because deep down, there's something you could have probably done to prevent whatever's happening from happening. Unless it's some kind of, medical situation or circumstance or whatever it is, that, we have no control over. Most things we do have some control over. So take responsibility, even when things don't seem like it's your fault. Number 3, we take action. And that's one of the main things that I saw when I was there. These guys were nonstop. Everybody, I'm talking about everybody in that office was taking action like nonstop from the minute that I got there to the minute that I left. Everybody was grinding all day. Even this guy, Andy Elliott, he was from call to call to call. He was eating, and him and I, we had a meeting, and his meeting was him eating, and he was eating and talking. There was not 1 minute that I was there that he was not taking action. And that's what I hope to instill in all of you. We take action every day, all day. Obviously, some of you have full-time jobs and things you got to do. Well, whenever you're not at your full-time job, you're taking action. And you're figuring out ways to improve your life, to improve your business. That's what we do. We do transformations coaches, take actions. We're not lazy Herbalife distributors. We're not the average distributor out there. We have a culture of taking action and taking massive action and crushing it and being killers out there and taking over. That's what we do. And that's what I hope I can instill in you guys. For the last 2 months, outside of a little 2-week vacation that I had with the family that was much needed, all the other trips and all the other traveling stuff that I've done, it hasn't been for pleasure. It's been taking action. It's been working. It's been, learning. It's been, gathering information so that then I can bring that to you guys and teach you guys and inspire you guys and build you guys even bigger and better. So it's been about taking action. So we take action. Next, we keep our promises. You know, we all talk a big game and we tell our kids what we're going to do. And we talk to our friends about what this opportunity is going to do for us. And we say all these things. And most people out there don't fulfill their promises. But we keep our promises. If we tell our family we're going to be working hard for a certain amount of time because eventually, you know, life is going to be different, we better keep our promises. We better do what we say we're going to do. And it means also keeping our promises to ourselves. It goes back to what I started the call with. It means keeping our promises that we make to ourselves. If we say we're going to do something, we better do it. And that's part of the culture that we should be building. And if we start doing that ourselves, then imagine what's going to happen to all the people that we bring in. And we bring them in under this world of keeping our promises, of taking responsibility, of being team players. Imagine what happens with all the people that we bring in if we do this. So we keep our promises to ourselves, to our people, to our team, to our customers, to everybody. And I'm seeing the chats are on fire. Yeah. So that was number 4. We keep our promises. Number 5, we take care of ourselves, guys. We do transformations coaches should look like transformations coaches. Period. If you got weight to lose, lose it. It's as easy as that. If you lost the weight, work on getting a better result. The more attractive you are, the more you're going to sell, and the more you're going to attract people. And it starts with getting in shape. And there's no excuse because we have the products to do that. We have the community to do that. We have the education to do that. We have all the tools and all the resources. There's no excuse to not be working on ourselves and not be working getting in better shape than we were yesterday. Doesn't mean you have to have a 6-pack tomorrow, but it does mean that you have to be working towards it. And that's another one of the things that I was, you know, pretty impactful from when I went to visit this guy. Everybody there looked great. And this is actually a big part of his philosophy. The better you look, the more you will sell. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You could be selling cars, you could be doing whatever. The better you look, the better shape you're in, the more you're going to sell, the more successful you're going to be, period. People who take care of themselves are more successful. They do better. They're more confident. They're happier. They're better entrepreneurs. They're better parents. They're better husbands. They're better wives. Period. So we want to build a culture of people that take care of themselves, people that look good. And again, it doesn't mean having a 6-pack for everybody. Although this guy, Andy Elliott, says when he hires people, you know, if they don't have a 6-pack within 6 months, they're fired. Imagine if that was a standard here. Oof. Some of you would have been fired a long time ago. You know, lucky for you, Herbalife doesn't fire people. But listen, you should be working on getting in better shape, whatever that is for you. It doesn't have to mean having a 6-pack, but you should be working towards and documenting your transformation. Because as a transformations coach, we do transformations, that's part of the image that we must portray. You know, for too long, a big reason, you know, that you know, in some places maybe Herbalife was like kind of like, you know, some people were skeptical, is because some of the coaches they were seeing didn't look the part. We preach, you know, losing weight, getting fit, getting in better shape, but then you got somebody who's extremely overweight promoting Herbalife 24. Listen, I know you probably lost some weight, but we got to lose some more. We got to get in better shape. And if you lost it, we got to start seeing some muscle definition. So we got to constantly be working on ourselves, taking care of ourselves, and looking to improve our physique. Doesn't matter where you are. You can, and it also doesn't matter how old you are. You can always be working to improve your physique, to feel better. And this is going to improve every area of your life. Not only is it going to improve your business, it's going to improve your marriage, it's going to improve your relationships. It will improve every single area of your life. And here, this is the culture that we want to build. And if you're not down for that culture, then it's not for you. Because we have to protect the brand. And I'm going to talk about that, but we have to protect the brand. We don't want people saying, oh yeah, those We Do Transformations coaches, oh yeah, those people, they just talk a big talk, but look at all of them. We can't have that. For the sake of our business and our reputation, we can't have that. So we take care of ourselves. Again, one of the big things that I learned while being there and watching these people. And number 6, and by the way, there's probably more. I wrote this down 5 minutes before the call. There's probably more. But number 6, these are the main ones that stuck out to me. Listen, we make money. We make money. So in order for us to build a business, we have to attract distributors. In order to build a business, we have to attract supervisors and help these people, through the process of growing in the ranks. And we can't do this if we're not making money, guys. We got to do the work. We got to do all of these things that I talked about so that we can start making money. Because if you can't make money yourself, if you're not getting results with the business yourself, if you're not getting customers and distributors yourself, and you're not making money, and you're not growing your Herbalife check, how are you going to be able to teach someone else how to do that? How are you going to make this attractive for somebody else if you can't even do it yourself? So you got to put in however many hours you got to put in. You got to get whatever, freaking result you got to get. You got to grind it out and you got to make some money. We want our coaches to make money. Another one of the things that I learned while I was there, all these guys that were on calls, closing sales, closing deals, making money. We got to make money so that we can show the world that being a transformation coach is a prosperous endeavor. So that we can show people that they can make extra income or they can change a career if they want to. There's money to be made here. We got to show them. We got to be the examples. So those are the kind of the 6 kind of culture things that I want to kind of build into this movement, the We Transformations movement. And guys, ultimately, listen, we have to protect the movement. We have to protect the brand. And there's many things that come along with that. In order to protect the brand, you must first understand how the brand works. What's going on in these chats here?
6 for the group. They don't have 6 mark, they out.
Oh yeah. Listen, there's some of you that I'm going to be holding accountable. There's some of you that I am going to be holding accountable to 6-pack in 6 months. You know who you are, and we can't fire you, but we'll shame you. So we have to protect the movement. We have to protect the brand. And in order to do that, you have to understand how the brand works and the reason behind the brand. So why do we have a separate brand? And why is it not called the Herbalife 21-Day Challenge? Why is it called the We Do Transformations Challenge? Well, very simple. By branding it with a different name, with a different brand, number one, it makes it exciting. It makes it different. And it makes it more attractive, period. It's new, it's exciting, it's different, it's attractive. And this is the reason that we go to the market with this, because by doing this and going to the market with a separate brand and not Herbalife directly, we're able to attract those that want Herbalife and are attracted to Herbalife. But we're also able to attract those that don't want Herbalife, those that are maybe on the fence about Herbalife, those who are skeptical about Herbalife. See, by going into the marketplace with a different brand and a different look and feel, we're able to cast a wider net and bring in more people. And what we want is more people, more customers, more distributors, more supervisors. We need more people. And so the way that we achieve this is by going out into the marketplace with the different brands and selling the challenge, not the products. Now, I understand if you have a nutrition club, there might be a different strategy. That's totally cool. You got to use whatever strategy works best at your nutrition club. Most of your customers probably already know that it's Herbalife, so it's different. But for those of us that are going out into the market to random people, and we're offering the challenge, we're not saying, hey, if you buy $120 worth of my Herbalife products, I'm going to give you this challenge. No, we're saying we have this challenge. It has all this value added to it, all these different items that are, cost X amount, and you can join for $120 to start, or however you're pitching it. But we got to pitch the challenge first, not Herbalife first. If we pitch Herbalife first, then we're basically, it's pointless to have different branding and to do different things. You just start an Herbalife challenge. There's no point in the whole thing that we created if you're going out into the marketplace and you're talking about Herbalife first. The whole point behind We Do Transformations is not to hide Herbalife. It's to cast a wider net, bring more people in, and then expose those people to Herbalife. And so we must understand that when we go into the market, we got to go in with We Do Transformations first. And then we introduce Herbalife. Everybody's going to get on Herbalife. We know that. But it's how we pitch it that makes a difference. And so we go to the market with We Do Transformations. And there's a few exceptions. Like I said, if you have a nutrition club, you might have a different strategy because it works better in your nutrition club, specific for that DMO or that tool. But for the most part, everyone else that's going into the market with cold leads or whatever, you should be going into the market with We Do Transformations. Now, the branding and the marketing material that you're using, number one, I suggest that you use whatever is provided. Some of you try to get too creative and you start creating all this weird marketing material that it's honestly not attractive. Listen, we have professional content creators creating this marketing. It's not like my wife is not creating this. We have professional content creators, both in North America and in South America, creating the marketing materials that you guys are receiving. So it's like, imagine if you could hire for yourself a content creator to create all of your tools and materials for the things that you're promoting. Well, you kind of do. With the fee that you pay every month to join the challenge, you get a professional content creator that's creating all of your challenge content for you and making it attractive. Now, some of you like to get too creative. I guess it's part of the entrepreneurial side of some of us. You like to get too creative. And some creativity is good, but too much creativity sometimes leads you down the wrong path. For example, I've seen a lot of marketing stuff recently with We Do Transformations and other branding, and then Herbalife products and the different programs and different packages, and you're posting all this stuff. Guys, we can't have this. And before we were being pretty lenient on this, we were saying, we recommend not to do it because, we didn't want to step over any toes and we wanted to, everybody's good, it's okay. No, it's not okay. We can't have this because it hurts our entire strategy and it hurts the branding and the marketing for everybody else. When we go into the market, we go into the market with We Do Transformations. We don't go into the market with We Do Transformations and Herbalife. We don't say, if you buy my $120 program, you're going to get this. We can't be mixing the brands. Number one, there's a conflict there with Herbalife. We can't associate other brands with the Herbalife brands, number one, because I'm sure Herbalife wouldn't like that. But we wouldn't like We Do Transformations to be associated when we go into the market with Herbalife, because it hurts our entire strategy. And let me explain to you why this strategy is so important and what are some of the things this strategy solves. Number one, I said it, we cast a wider net. We're able to get people that want Herbalife and people that don't want Herbalife. That's the first thing that it solves. But now think of this. By having this very interesting high value proposition to the market, we now basically, it helps us to overcome all the issues that we may experience with people selling on Amazon, people selling on eBay. See, because now the price of the product is not an issue. And there's many people that complain, they bought it on Amazon and they got a discount. And so they just went there. Listen, this is no longer an issue if we're going and we're leading with the challenge. If we're leading with We Do Transformations, then people can't say, I found it cheaper on Amazon. You found what cheaper on Amazon? You found We Do Transformations cheaper on Amazon? You can't buy We Do Transformations on Amazon. You can't register for the challenge on Amazon or on eBay. That is no longer an issue. What is the other issue that people have sometimes? It's too expensive. I can't afford it. It's too expensive. For those two products, oh my God, Herbalife is too expensive. Listen, they're not buying Herbalife. They're signing up for your We Do Transformations challenge. And they get all this value. $500, $1,000 worth of value for a smaller fee. And it just happens to include products, but they're not buying products. They're buying everything, all the goods and services that we offer with our challenge. So guess what? Price objections are no longer a thing. They can't say Herbalife is expensive. So it doesn't matter if Herbalife raises their prices tomorrow. I hope they don't. But if they do, guess what? It doesn't affect us because that's irrelevant. We're not selling Herbalife. We're selling the entire program, which includes our coaching. It includes everything that we talked about. And it's a lot more valuable than $120 worth of Herbalife products. People can't no longer complain and say that the products are too expensive. See, leading with the challenge helps us to solve these issues. And if people start posting pictures that where you're associating the challenge and Herbalife, then it hurts everybody else's ability to be able to say, no, you're not buying Herbalife products, you're just buying into the challenge, and it includes that. If you're saying buy $120 worth of Herbalife product and get this, join the challenge, then you're affecting our ability to be able to go into the marketplace and say what we say and pitch how we pitch. So moving forward, guys, I love your creativity, but this is not the time for creativity. Let's leave the creativity to the creative experts that we hired to create the content. You just copy paste. The reason that we hired people to do this is so that you guys didn't have to put time and energy into creating content. Your time and energy should be dedicated into getting more customers and more distributors. Income producing activities. Doing a flyer where you put the Herbalife products and We Do Transformations, it's not an income producing activity. All of your time and energy should be dedicated to income producing activities, getting new customers, getting new distributors, and working with with customers and distributors, period. You shouldn't be creating all kinds of content that you can get without having to do it. So moving forward, we shouldn't see anymore, and we're going to be we're going to be very serious about this. We don't want to see more stuff with Herbalife products and We Do Transformations. And you can go and you can say whatever the hell you want to say that we're hiding Herbalife, say whatever you want to say. I don't care. For the sake of this and for the sake of the protection of this amazing tool that we've created for everyone to use and everyone to benefit from around the world, we have to make sure that we're promoting it correctly so that we can achieve the outcome that we want to achieve. Feel how you feel. Be butthurt if you want to be butthurt. It doesn't matter. This is the way that it has to be for the good of everybody and for the benefit of everybody, so that we can all build our businesses and utilize this the way that it was intended to be utilized. Now, I know some of you that have done it, you didn't do it with any kind of malintentions. You were just trying to be creative. That's great, no problem. Let's use that creativity and that energy to do something else with it. For this, we have a creative team that does that. You don't need to focus time, energy, and resources on trying to do that. And again, we were pretty lenient before. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That's part of the reason we made this call for supervisors, because we're going to hurt some feelings, and that's okay. No problem. But for the greater good of everybody, and again, it goes back to number one, which we're team players. For the greater good of everybody, we have to follow the structure and the system that was created and put in place. We have to follow the strategy that was put in place to begin with. And so if you were confused about that, listen, no problem. We all have the right to be confused sometimes. It's a lot of information. A lot of you are brand new. No problem. It's all good. But moving forward, let's make sure that we're on the same page. And not only that, let's make sure that we're educating our teams correctly. And let's make sure that we're correcting our sidelines if we see something happening. That's how we become team players, and that's how we do this, and that's how we make this bigger, and that's how we protect this thing that all of us are benefiting from, guys. There's so much benefit going around from this. Let's make sure that we protect it. So let's make sure we call people out if we need to call them out respectfully. We don't want to, be disrespectful to anybody. It's not a, it's people make mistakes and people don't know any better sometimes. And that's what we've given everybody the benefit of the doubt. Hey, no problem. Just correct it, whatever. This is the way you should be promoting it. All good. But moving forward, let's make sure that we not only are doing the right thing ourselves, but we're teaching our teams to do the right thing. And we're calling out any sideline or anybody that we see that's not doing the right thing respectfully. We're letting them know, and we're helping them and coaching them and guiding them to do it right. that's the purpose behind this call, really, or one of the reasons behind this call, is to coach you guys on how to do it right so that moving forward, we crush it and we're all in line and we're all going in the same direction. Another thing that's important for you guys to understand, we've seen, more and more pages pop up with "We Do Transformations" on it, the name on it. There's multiple reasons why we shouldn't be doing this. It's no different than you guys not being able to have Herbalife in your Instagram handle. We Do Transformations is a protected, registered trademark. And if we allow everyone to just create "We Do Transformations," whatever, "We Do Transformations California," "We Do Transformations Maria," "We Do Transformations," whatever, then we lose our ability to protect the brand, because now whatever happens on that person's IG accounts could come back to hurt us, even though there's no affiliation there necessarily. So as part of protecting the brand, it's not allowed for you guys to use "We Do Transformations" in your brand. And if you have a fit camp with "We Do Transformations" on it, again, we've kind of let some things slide just because we were figuring things out as we went. But I suggest you change the name, and you call it something else for your area. And in the bio, you can say, "Hey, we're a "We Do Transformations" affiliated," whatever, no problem. But your Instagram name itself shouldn't contain the word "We Do Transformations" on it. The same way, guys, the same way that you can't use the word Herbalife or any name of products in your own specific IG account. That's not allowed. Herbalife will make you change it, or we'll get your page shut down. We're not going to go through those measures, but again, it's part of being team players. Let's make sure that it's clear that there's two official "We Do Transformations" accounts. There's one for North America, there's one for South America, and in the future, if there's more accounts, there'll be official accounts. And just so you guys are clear, nobody gets any leads from these accounts. These accounts are disabled, so there's no commenting happening. There's no DMs happening in these accounts. Absolutely no leads coming from these accounts. These are just accounts to give us credibility. So allow the "We Do Transformations" team to create those official accounts and brand them the way that we want to brand them, so that we put out the right image. If we have a ton of "We Do Transformations" accounts, then we can no longer control the image that we put out there, and then that affects all of us. So let's make sure we clear that up. Also, when you're creating branding, I've also seen this happening, quite often. "We Do Transformations" is a specific brand. The logo looks specific. Listen, there's no need to add the Herbalife leaf to the logo. The logo is the logo. We shouldn't alter the logo of "We Do Transformations" and try to make it more Herbalife-y. Okay, the whole point is that it's not Herbalife-y. It's different. And although, even though we have a new leaf now that maybe not a lot of people know, you're still altering the logo of the brand. So when you're getting shirts made or whatever, listen, you can get all the shirts made you want. You can put whatever you want on them, but make sure you keep the logo the way that the logo is supposed to look. There's no need to add anything to the logo that is currently not part of the logo. The logo is #We Do Transformations. It doesn't have an Herbalife leaf. It doesn't have anything else on it. It's just "We Do Transformations." If you want to add your name on the back, or you want to add something to it, we don't care. Do what you want to do. Just don't alter the logo. Don't add more things to the logo that are already a part of the logo. Again, this goes back to protecting the brand and making sure that the brand stays attractive for years to come. And we're going to stay on top of this, guys, because for all of us to be able to have success with this, the brand has to look the part, and the brand has to be represented well, and the brand has to stay attractive. Otherwise, it's going to hurt all of us. So that's it. Let me see there. I think there was a couple more things, and then I'll open it up for Q&A. There was a couple more things I think that people were asking. So some of you, especially there's a lot of new people on here, there's two major concerns, especially for some of the leaders that join, and I'm sure there's a lot of leaders connected on this call, a lot of presidents teams. Some of you are maybe brand new and you have no idea, how we do things and what's going on. Oh, also, another thing that I remembered is, listen, some of you, there's going to be there's already a lot of people reaching out regarding potentially having like local We Do Transformations events, and turning some of their local events into We Do Transformations event and branding them accordingly and all that. Listen, anytime you guys want to do that, it would be great to consult with us so that we can give you some guidance. We've already put together events like that. Again, the last thing we want to do is for you to create an event that doesn't look the part, that goes against the branding ideas that we have and all that. And so if you have desires to do a local We Do Transformations events, we have no issue with it whatsoever. But the right thing to do would be to reach out. Maybe we'll get on a call and we'll discuss a plan maybe on how to do it correctly, so that we make sure that the brand looks the way that it's supposed to look. So for all of you guys that are new here, and a lot of you press teams that maybe this is your first month in or whatever, or maybe you're not completely clear on it. There's two things that people usually ask about this. And I'll break it down for you just so everybody's on the same page. So even if you're not a president's team, it's good to know this. Number one, wow, there's so many coaches. There's a lot of money being collected. What happens to that money? Every single penny that gets collected, with the $35 fee. First of all, let me say this: if you're a distributor and you're paying a $35 fee to get everything that you get, and to get access to everything that you get access to, and to get calls like this, and to be able to participate in everything you're participating, and the first thing that comes to your mind is what's happening with my $35, or you're doing the math and trying to see how much money we're collecting. Listen, you got the wrong mindset to begin with. You got to clear that shit up. You got to clear your mindset up, and all you're thinking about is like, what are they doing with the money? So get that washed out. That kind of mindset. It's not the right mindset to have. But for those of you that are curious or wondering what happens with the money, every dollar that we have in excess to the cost of operating the whole thing, which, as you can imagine, there's a whole team. There's a team of programmers. There's content creators. There's a whole team behind this. It's not a rinky-dink operation at this point. I mean, it's constantly evolving and developing. Every single penny that comes in gets reinvested into you guys in one way or another. We, the team that manages We Do Transformations, have no interest in keeping any of your money, no desires whatsoever. And legally, we can't, because Herbalife rules do not allow it. So legally, we can't, and morally, we wouldn't. This is a tool to help everybody grow their business. This is not my business. I do okay. And so this is simply a tool for me to grow my business, my Herbalife business, and to help everyone else grow their Herbalife business. We make no money from it, and every single penny that gets collected gets reinvested back into the distributors in one way or another. You guys saw, the video in the beginning about Brian Mark. We're bringing him in as a consultant. For the next few months, he's going to create a whole training system for us, scripts, call scripts, everything. He's going to be doing monthly calls with us. He's going to be speaking in person at some of our in-person events. That's not free. That costs money. Tens of thousands and more, hundreds of thousands is what it costs to get somebody to come in and do consulting like that. It's not free, and it's not $100. That costs money. For those of you that were at our Vegas events, that's not free. That costs money. And We Do Transformations finance every penny of it. So for those of you wondering, what happens to the additional income that's coming in after everybody's paid out, after all the costs are covered, well, that's what's happening. You're more than welcome to take a guess at how much it costs to put together that event in Vegas. You're probably going to fall short. It was a pretty massive figure, and everything was covered and financed by We Do Transformations as a way to give back to everyone. We have another event now happening in January. It's going to be open to the world for all We Do Transformations coaches. You have to be an active coach. but it was going to be open and broadcasted to the world. And this is not like a regular little Zoom either. This is like a legit operation, special VIP groups for your country, special rooms just for your country or for your teams. And we have some pretty big deal speakers that are going to be speaking at that event. Those speakers don't speak for free. Those speakers got to get paid, and they got to get paid good in order to speak at these events. And so the reason that we're able to do these things is because of the leftover funds that we have from people that are, that are coaches that are participating. We're going to be having retreats for top qualifiers, with pretty much most expenses paid. We're going to be having more of those virtual events. We're going to be having all kinds of cool promotions. All these things get funded by the additional income that comes from We Do Transformations. And just to give you an extra peace of mind for those of you that are in the higher tier of Herbalife distributors, presidents, teams, and so on, that still don't trust. I understand my word is not enough, so you have to. We've offered the company to open our books, our We Do Transformations books, to them, so that their attorneys can review it and make sure that everything checks out and that everything is clean by the book and everything is okay. So that's an extra measure that we've taken and we volunteered to do, so that there's no nonsense being talked about behind the scenes. And even with all that, there's still going to be nonsense talked about. There's still going to be noise. There's still going to be people out there saying that we're getting rich off of this thing and all that and whatever. But for all of you guys that are part of it, you should know these things, and it's good for you to understand them, so that when you hear the noise, you can just know that there's everything is by the book.
There's big one.
Oh yeah, big one. Okay, I'll touch that one there. The next concern that people have is, well, we have access to all the information. We have access to all the coaches' information. We have access to the customers. First of all, we don't communicate with any customers. That is the coach's responsibility. Is to communicate with their customers. So we don't communicate with customers. We do communicate with coaches, as you guys all know, and it's with the purpose of coaching you guys, helping you guys follow up correctly, and communicating important information. For those that say, oh, well, but you have access to all the coaches' information. Well, so does every STS, so does every nutrition club, so does every other tool that Herbalife, that people implement in Herbalife. And what's happened with that. So it's no different than anything else that people do in our life. Obviously there's no nothing being done with that information. It just we have NDAs that are signed with all the teams that are working behind the scenes on all of this, so that information is protected and nobody is doing anything with that information. For you to be clear on that. Those are the two biggest concerns that people, especially some of the leaders, have when they hear about this and they're not sure how it works and they're confused. Another piece of housekeeping is, listen, we've also seen some of you guys sharing your coach code with people. Guys, listen, we've given you some of you guys the benefit of the doubt. There's not going to be any more benefits of the doubt. We see you sharing your coach code, you're out, boom, for life, banned, done deal. We don't want to deal with that. Let's work with integrity. Obviously, it's a small fee to pay $35 for everything that everybody gets. For the events that we're going to be doing, all the different things we're going to be doing, $35, you get one customer, you made that money back. And for you guys in South America, that's $15. Same thing. You get one customer, you get your money back. Feeling like you have to try to cheat the system and give your code to other people, we won't tolerate that in any way. So just make sure that we're doing things correctly with that. Also, you shouldn't be getting if you have like second line preferred members that want to join, listen, this is for you and your first line customers only. If you have a second line that wants to join, well, you have one or two things. You get their upline and their coach to pay their fee and join as a coach. And if they don't want to do it, then you pay the fee for them. If you really want that second line to be able to join, then you pay that fee for them. And then you get their team to join. Very simple. But it's first lines only. And we're going to be checking all these things, and we're going to be looking through all these things. And look, I don't want to make this a negative call. It's not. I think it's positive because we need to get people clear, and we all need to be on the same page about what can be done and what should be done and what shouldn't be done. Some of you just don't know any better, and that's okay, no problem. That's why we're, clearing everything now, and making sure that moving forward, we all understand we're all on the same page. And even if we have new people that are coming in that don't know, it is our responsibility now as the leaders here, supervisors and up, right? It's our responsibility to train them and to teach the right ways of doing things moving forward. That's pretty much everything I had to share with you guys. I'll open it up for Q&A. I'm sure there's some questions. So any of you guys that have questions, feel free to ask them. This is the time to do it. I'll be happy to answer as many questions as you guys have. Are you guys monitoring the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple people here monitoring the questions.
Nothing yet. I can't see the ones on Zoom.
I'm looking at the ones on Zoom.
Of the transparency, guidance.
Did I miss something?
Well, there's people, now that we have the coaches challenge, there should not be any reason promoting any other coaches challenge, especially if they're using our branding. Because there's people promoting challenges with our branding for coaches and charging money. So once they sign up for two questions. Okay. Once they sign up, the challenge comes already included. They don't have to pay anything. If anybody else is asking money for a challenge,
all right, so Nancy asking, so we no longer use Herbalife with We Do Transformations. I don't understand what kind of question that is. Everybody in We Do Transformations is using Herbalife. We don't go to the market promoting Herbalife. We go to the market promoting We Do Transformations. I think that was pretty clear. But we're all using Herbalife. Every single coach, every single customer that comes in is using Herbalife. That is what we do.
Can I have a job form? Somebody asked.
Yeah, you can have a job form if you want. No issues with having a job form.
Do we need to pay?
We don't have an HOM presentation focus on We Do Transformations yet. That's something we're working on. Yeah, we don't have an HOM yet, so we're working on that, guys. But there is not one yet. But there is, at the end of the challenge, there is a video that goes out where I explain it. We've got to probably make a better video. But I explained what it's like to become a coach. That's pretty similar to like an HOM kind of conversation. You guys can be using that for all of your challengers that are going through the challenge. You can all be using that to send out to them. You should be using it actually. Yeah, you can promote a We Do Transformations Fit Camp, no problem. Again, just make sure that the marketing is attractive and it's the right marketing.
The other questions? Yeah. Do we need to pay double if we are married couple or same Herbalife ID?
For?
Or can we use the same ID in that instance?
Yeah, so for the $35 fee, guys, it's $35 per ID. If you're a couple and you have the same ID, it's one fee for the both of you.
Okay, somebody said the coach's code. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Guys, I'm not going to go into details on answering questions related to the operation of the challenge. There was an orientation call that happened last Friday where everything was explained. You should have all been connected. Here's another thing that I want to touch on, actually, that I forgot to touch on. Sometimes you put something in the chats and it's like crickets. Nobody answers, nobody says anything, even for president's teams. Sometimes we share stuff in the chats and it's literally crickets. We're going to start holding you guys accountable now. That's why we're not recording these calls. Although this one we might record and share, this one specifically because I feel it's so important. But you guys have to, again, you got to take responsibility. Some of you are asking questions that you could have heard on Friday. Listen, that's on you. You got to figure out where that recording is. That one we will share. And you have to take responsibility. You decided to do this business. You decided to take this serious, and you gotta take responsibility. So all of those specific little details about the challenge things, all that stuff, that was explained Friday. If you need the video, I'm sure it's in the chat somewhere. You can watch the video. You can get all those questions answered. But for all of you coaches, presidents teams, tap teams, everybody, when we communicate stuff in the chats, we need feedback. We need communication. We need better communication. Is what I would say. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth, getting you guys to respond to something that we share, or to vote sometimes, or to whatever it is. That can't be. If we're all trying to build a serious business, we have to have better communication, and we're going to hold you accountable to that. What other questions?
I'm answering some of these over here.
Okay, so we got somebody answering some questions on YouTube. I'm going to answer as many as I can here. No, so there's two variations of the logo. There's one that's the long logo, and there's one that's we do on top and transformations under. Those are two different variations of the logo. You can use either one. It just depends on what fits best on whatever you're trying to put it on. If you're connected from Spain, you're more than welcome to use the brand however you want to use it, the same way that everybody's using it. No problem. We are trying to do an event, the next in-person event. We're trying to do it in a place that accommodates everybody, both people in North America and South America. But the event that we have in January is going to be broadcasted to the world and translated to whatever language you speak. And so that one, everybody will be able to connect to. Isn't the end purpose of what we do movement to have a lot of people using the Herbalife products? 100%. That is exactly what the end goal of the movement is to have more people using the Herbalife products. That is all we want. But we lead with the movement. We lead with the challenge, and then the products come after. We don't go out with the products first. We go out with the challenge first.
Yes, people are signing up PMs at the clubs with a store credit. That's not allowed. They can't do that. They have to do their.
Yeah, I'm hearing that some people are signing up PMs at the club with a store credit. If they're PM, they have a minimum order requirements. Period. There's no.
No, but other people's PM when they go to the different clubs.
Oh, okay. And signing up other people's PMs or other people's customers, whether they're PM or not, at the club. Listen, this is just an ethical issue. We know better not to be selling to other people's customers. So we get to respect other people's customers. This is nothing new. This is not we do transformations related. This is something that's been around forever. We don't take other people's customers, period. Even if they ask us to, even if they want to work with us. You know how many people want to work with us? You know how many people reach out to us saying, no, but I want you as my coach. I'm sorry. You got to go back to whoever your coach is. We send them back. It's just not the way that we do things, guys. So if other people are coming into your club saying, no, but I come here because it's closer for me. Can I just buy a credit here? But I'm so-and-so's customer. No, you got to go with so-and-so, and you got to sign up with them, become a preferred member with them, do whatever you got to do with them, because they are your coaches. You're more than welcome to come in here and get your daily consumption or whatever it is, but we shouldn't be signing those people up as our customers in the challenge, because we know that once they're in the challenge, now we're going to offer them to become distributors, and so on and so on and so on. Let's respect other people's customers, and let's work with integrity and with ethics.
Jay Brothers also has some questions. let people know they need to log into the site when they buy.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
By the way, guys, more information is going to be shared on the Coaches Challenge. We're working on some kinks with the programming. There's some things that was giving us a hard time. It's going to happen, but they're figuring out some little details with the programming on the website. But more information to come on that. Everything is still to go, but they're just ironing out some little details. The event is happening in January. It's going to be in person for presidents teams and up, and then it's going to be broadcasted to everyone else. There's a very limited amount of space that we can have in person, and so it's going to be press team and up in person, and everybody else is going to be broadcasted. And for the presidents teams that are going to be attending, that one is going to be in Vegas also in January. It's going to be broadcasted from the Eric Worre Studios, and it's going to be translated to whatever language you speak. Yeah, you can add your personal contact to the marketing info, no problem. What if they want to leave their coach because they love We Do Transformations? Listen, again, it's going to happen. There's people that want to leave their coach because of many different reasons, not just because of We Do Transformations. It is our job to send them back to their coach, edify their coach, talk about how amazing their coach is, and let them know that we can't work with them. It's not the right thing to do. It's not the ethical thing to do, to be taking other people's customers. Yeah, we do have an advantage. Our tool, our program, what we offer, our challenge is very attractive. You should probably at that point call the other coach and say, hey, listen, your customer wants to leave you and come work with me because they want to be a part of We Do Transformations. How about you join We Do Transformations so that you can keep your customers happy? So maybe help the coach. Instead of trying to take their customer, help them get better. You can make your own shirts. Just make sure in the system, in the website, we share the exact fonts and all that. You can make your own shirts if you want. You don't have to just order them from the website. By the way, the website's a third party company. We make no money from them. They're just facilitating the branding for us, but that's a separate company. It has nothing to do with us. But if you want to make your own stuff, you can make your own stuff, no problem. Just make sure you use the correct fonts and all that. I've also seen some shirts. People got like some big ass letters that don't even look right. Some weird ass branding. Like, let's make sure we keep the branding with the same fonts, same everything, same size and same kind of like dimensions of the logo, so that it looks uniform. If you're promoting We Do Transformations, you're asking, if we're promoting We Do Transformations, how can we continue to show our traditional business? Listen, that's for you to figure out. You do it however you want to do it. I'm no one to explain to you now and give you a training on how you can continue to promote your traditional business. I would kind of focus my energy in one direction so that I could get the most out of that as possible. But if you want to do both, I don't think it's going to be as effective, but it's up to you to manage it and figure out how you want to do it. Do we have any kind of information or a seminar or a course with Brian Mark? Listen, I that's what I mentioned earlier. It's coming. He's working on creating videos and all kinds of content specifically for us. So that's coming. Just hang in there, and within a month or so, we should have that ready. The coaches challenge is starting. What was the date?
November.
Yeah, the coaches challenge is starting in November. It was already launched. Guys, if you didn't watch the orientation call that happened Friday, I suggest you do, because a lot of those questions are going to be answered on that call. Good question. So when we sell the challenge for $120, do we ask the customer if they have tried Herbalife before, or do we just skip to the supplements? I ask, but the way that I ask is different, and I try to make it very attractive. I say, have you taken supplementation before? Because part of what it comes included with the challenge is supplementation. So have you taken supplementation before? Yeah, I've taken supplements before. Also, which ones have you taken? Oh, I've taken this and this and this and this and this. If they say Herbalife, then I have to dig a little bit deeper and find out when they took Herbalife. Are they currently taking Herbalife? But usually if you ask, oh, great. So, once you're in the conversation, have you taken supplements before? Part of what's included is supplements. Have you taken supplements before? Yes or no? If so, which ones? These are the ones that I've taken. Good to go. How can I join We Do Transformations in Latin America? Where can I find the rules and follow? Okay. If you want to join We Do Transformations in Latin America, it's WeDoTransformations.me. WeDoTransformations.me. There you can register as a coach in Latin America. I register every month. I register in North America, and I register in Latin America, because if I get a customer from there, now I can actually plug them into something. Guys, what I mentioned about earlier about not mixing the brands, I don't just mean it online. I also mean in person. Like, for example, I'll give you an idea of what happens in some of the fit camps that we have here. The company will give us like CR7 and stuff, and that's okay. We give like a little sample of CR7 or whatever, but we don't have a whole product display next to the We Do Transformations banner, and we have like all the Herbalife 24 things. We don't have a We Do Transformation shirt and an Herbalife or a Let's Go Herbalife hat on, because that's confusing. So it doesn't matter where you are. It's just having the right look and feel. It doesn't matter where you are, whether it's online or in the fit camps or wherever it is maintaining one uniform look. And it doesn't mean that you can't like have some subtle products like, a CR7 for recovery, because we are fueled by Herbalife. But the idea is We Do Transformations workout can be fueled by Herbalife. Okay. We can be fueled by Herbalife. We're in partnership with Herbalife, but it shouldn't be like half Herbalife branding, half We Do Transformations branding. That doesn't, it's confusing. It doesn't look attractive. If you want to watch the call that happened on Friday, the orientation call,
It's available. It's on YouTube.
It's available. It's on YouTube. So it's on there. I don't know, where can they find the link?
It's on all the chats. It's on YouTube.
It's in all the chats, and it's also on YouTube.
We left it open
We left it open on YouTube so that you guys can watch it. So guys, Mark doesn't speak Spanish. So all the material will be in English, but it will be translated with captioning to Spanish. Yeah, good question. Yeah, if you guys want to have We Do Transformations branding in your nutrition club and certain We Do Transformations things in your nutrition club, no problem. You can do that, that's fine. Again, just make sure that the We Do Transformations branding it's We Do Transformations. It's separate. It's not We Do Transformations with pictures of Herbalife products on it or whatever.
Eventually, we'll have more stuff of that.
Yeah, and we're going to create more content for the clubs and more materials that you can actually print out or whatever. But yeah, totally fine. You could. It's almost like your nutrition club, whatever nutrition, partnered up with We Do Transformations to be able to bring something to your community that adds more value to them. So let me see.
I got one here, and then I can answer. So they have asked what it does.
Online right now.
For the people that speak Spanish, the orientation call that happened Friday was in English, but there's one that also happens in Spanish that you guys have access to connect to. So it's also there. Yeah. Any other question on your end, bro?
Bro, there's one question that I can answer because I'm tired of answering that question.
What's the question?
It's they creating their own little packages and they send it to like people that they're talking to. Like they have the brand and then they put the pictures of the products. What package do you want to like? It's still mixing brand.
Oh my lord.
So the question that Octavio was saying, guys, when you're talking to a prospect or a potential customer, you shouldn't be sending pictures of different Herbalife packages and saying which package do you want. It goes back to the same thing that I'm saying here. We're not selling the Herbalife package. We're selling the challenge, which there's a lot more value involved in the entire program, which also includes Herbalife. But we're not just selling the Herbalife supplements, the Herbalife program. All right. I'll answer any other questions, guys, that you guys saw back there?
No,
Okay.
We good so far.
There's a lot of questions, guys, about Spain. So in Spain, there's currently a rule where you can't have challenges that give out prices, and these rules, I'm pretty sure they're going to change very soon. But there is nothing stopping you from joining the Latin American Challenge. We have no way of stopping you from becoming a coach in that. We have no way of stopping you from promoting it. Just understand that if you start promoting it, you're technically doing something that's not allowed, but technically the challenge that you're promoting is not a challenge that's happening in Spain. It's a Latin American challenge that you're leveraging. So it's a very gray area. Just know it's a gray area, because it's not your challenge in Spain is a challenge in Latin America that you're a part of. So if you want to sign up for it, we can't stop you from doing that. If you want to promote it, we can't stop you from doing that. Just know that you're in a gray area. And we hope that pretty soon we'll have it 100% approved for anybody in Spain to be able to use it, promote it, and so on. And at the end, by the way, whoever wins, we have to pay out because we have to fulfill our promises. And so if there's a challenger from Spain that wins and they happen to live in Spain, we have no control over that. We have to do what we say we're going to do, which is pay out the $1,000 that the challenger wins, or the 500 or whatever it is. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make the call too long. I hope this helped. I hope we're clear. I hope we're on the same page. Let's keep working towards that 90-day plan. Let's keep crushing our goals. If you got sidetracked or derailed a little bit, let's get back on track, and let's crush it in these next 90 days so that we can start the year with momentum, and so that we can crush it next year as well. I'm excited to see some pin changes at extravaganzas. I'm excited to see some pin changes at this event that we're doing in January. I'm excited to hear some success stories from this, and some people getting to the next level. So let's crush it. Have a good night.